Let me start with a truth that almost nobody is saying out loud. A storm is forming behind the tech headlines. A financial wave so massive that it could reshape entire industries, rewrite power grids, and redefine the global economy. And 99% of investors? They're completely missing it. Because while the world is obsessing over AI DMOS, ChatGPT updates, and NVIDIA's stock chart, the real story is happening backstage. Hidden. Concrete, metal, electricity, land, and heat. This is where the next $7 trillion is quietly being deployed. McKinsey predicts data center infrastructure will grow 14 to 23% every single year for the next 5 years. That kind of growth hasn't been seen since the era of railroads. Back then, tracks spread across North America like veins, carrying wealth, power, and opportunity into new territory. Today, the tracks are fiber. The locomotives are GPUs. And the destination is artificial intelligence. Everyone keeps asking, where are all these NVIDIA GPUs going? Who's using them? Where is all this compute physically living? The answer isn't mysterious. It isn't magical. And it definitely isn't in the cloud. Those chips are being crammed into gigantic data centers rising quietly across the world like digital pyramids. Buildings the size of football stadiums, humming day and night with thousands of AI models running nonstop. Some of these facilities consume more electricity in a single year than entire U.S. states. I've seen this evolution firsthand. Before AI was in headlines, before it became a cultural phenomenon, I was building machine learning models inside Amazon pricing engines, automation systems, decision models. I wasn't hype. It was a tool. But now it is becoming the foundation of a new industrial age. And this age demands infrastructure on a scale the world has never built before. Goldman Sachs expects data center power demand to surge 165% by 2030. Imagine what that means. More power plants, more substations, more cooling systems, more steel, more everything. Because NVIDIA's newest AI chips draw up to 3 times more power than the previous generation. That energy becomes heat massive, relentless heat. So these facilities require industrial liquid cooling, reinforced electrical systems, battery banks, backup generators, and redundant fiber networks. Or the entire operation collapses. People think AI lives in the cloud? No. AI lives inside colossal buildings anchored into the ground, fed by upgraded transmission lines and cooled by engineering systems built to fight physics itself. And here's where that $7 trillion is flowing. McKinsey breaks it into 2 buckets. 60% goes to compute the chips, servers, accelerators, memory, networking, storage. The muscles of the AI world. 40% goes to the facilities, the buildings, the land, the power, the cooling, the electrical gear. The skeleton that holds everything up. That's roughly $4.2 trillion in hardware. And another $2.8 trillion in the physical infrastructure behind it. But even that isn't the full picture. Because above both layers towering over them are the hyperscalers. Amazon, Microsoft, Google. These companies don't just buy data center capacity. They manufacture it. They design entire regions at once. They negotiate multi-gigawatt power deals before local utilities even know demand is coming. They build proprietary chips Oz, Graviton, and Trainium, Google's TPUs, Microsoft's Maya. They're inventing custom cooling systems because traditional suppliers are backlogged for years. They are creating their own universe of infrastructure. Everyone else is racing on the track. Hyperscalers own the stadium. Now let's descend into the compute layer, where the pace is furious. The technology evolves monthly, and fortunes are being made at hyperspeed. NVIDIA dominates with its A accelerators. AMD is surging with the MI300. Broadcom and Marvell provide networking silicon for massive GPU clusters. Memory Micron Samsung SK Hynix is sold out for years as demand for high-bandwidth memory explodes. Supermicro is scaling faster than anyone imagined. Dell and HPE anchor the enterprise space. Lenovo commands Asia. And all of it depends on the semiconductor supply chain, Taiwan Semiconductor at the center. ASML as the irreplaceable gatekeeper of lithography, Lam Research, KLA, and Applied Materials enabling every advanced chip. Once those racks come alive, networking takes over. Arista leads cloud-scale switching. Cisco dominates enterprise. Ciena and Coherent move data across continents. This is the fast lane of the AI build-out, the chaotic, high-growth frontier where innovation can flip the leaderboard overnight. Now step into the facilities layer, the quieter but unstoppable engine of the AI boom. Nothing glamorous, nothing flashy, but absolutely essential. Eaton and Schneider Electric build the electrical backbone. Trane, Johnson Controls, and Daikin keep the thermal systems alive. Modine and Inventascale, high-density cooling. Siemens, ABB, and Quanta upgrade the power grid itself. Cummins and Bloom Energy supply on-site generation and backup power. Equinix, Digital Realty, and Iron Mountain own the physical shells where the AI world lives. Infinera, Fujitsu, and ZTE link these buildings with long-haul fiber. VMware, Nutanix, ServiceNow, and IBM automate and stabilize the entire ecosystem. This part of the stack grows slower, but it grows consistently. And it wins regardless of which chip company comes out on top. So how do you invest in a tidal wave this large? Not by guessing, not by chasing hype, but by structuring exposure to the layers of the stack that grow at different speeds for different reasons. If I were allocating $100 into this ecosystem today, here's what I'd do. $45 into compute the fastest growing, highest upside segment. $30 into hyperscalers, the most stable, the most diversified, the most integrated. And $25 into facilities, the companies that get paid every time a data center turns on, no matter which GPU is inside. Extend that 5 years forward with realistic growth rates compute in the low 20s. Hyperscalers around 12 to 13%, facilities around 8 to 10%, and that $100 grows into roughly $200 to $235. Not hype, not moonshots. Just the backbone of a new industrial age. For ETF investors, DTCR and IDGT offer broad exposure, though if I could design my own ETF, I'd make it far more efficient. Some of the companies inside these funds simply don't belong there. And here's the real punchline. By 2030, global data center power capacity will grow from 81 gigawatts to 222 gigawatts. That is a planetary scale transformation. The grid wasn't built for this. Humanity has never needed this much compute power. AI isn't just a software revolution. It's a physical revolution. A revolution made of steel, concrete, silicon, and electricity. This is where the real money is being made. Not in headlines, not in hype cycles, but in the machinery that makes AI possible. If you found value in this breakdown, if the research, the spreadsheets, and the hours of digging help you navigate this new wave, then hit the like button. It helps more than you know, and it lets me keep bringing you the kind of analysis that actually matters. Because the AI build-out is just beginning. And over the next 5 years, the biggest investment opportunities won't be in the apps using AI, but in the infrastructure powering it. The future has arrived. It's humming, glowing, and consuming gigawatts. And it's only getting started.